She was already sitting at the table when he walked in, with the other woman right beside him. He had made dinner plans with both of them for the same night, at the same restaurant, and neither woman was there by accident. And I promise you, this story gets so much worse. Okay, so 4 years. 4 years. That's how long she had been with this man. They lived together. They made plans together. She had completely built her life around a future that included him. We're talking shared lease, shared space, shared everything. And from the outside, perfect couple. No red flags. No obvious cracks. But here's the thing about certain kinds of liars. The really dangerous ones don't slip up often. They're organized. They're methodical. They have systems. He had a system. And it worked. Until it didn't. So let's back up to where this whole thing actually started. She's doing laundry one day. Completely normal. Completely mundane. And she finds his gym bag. And inside the gym bag? A second phone. Not a work phone. Not some old device he forgot about. A second phone. Active. With messages. And on that phone was an entire second relationship. I'm sorry. What? This man had been seeing another woman for nearly 2 years. 2 years of a parallel relationship. Running simultaneously. With both women fully believing they were exclusive. Neither one knew the other existed. Not a hint. Not a rumor. Nothing. She, let's call her Aria, spent the next several days barely functioning. Crying through her lunch breaks. Going through the motions at work. Trying to figure out which parts of the last 4 years were even real. That specific kind of grief where you're not just losing a person. You're losing the whole version of your life you thought you were living. But here's where Aria does something that honestly takes guts. Instead of going through him. Instead of blowing everything up publicly. Instead of spiraling. She tracks down the other woman directly. Quiet message. Factual. No drama attached. Just, this is who I am. This is what I found. And you deserve to know. The other woman, let's call her Jade, responded within minutes. Because here's the thing. Jade already suspected. She'd been noticing things for months. Certain evenings. Every single week. He was completely unreachable. Alternate weekends. Same story. Holidays had this bizarre habit of producing last-minute emergencies that meant he couldn't be there. She had been filing all of this away in the back of her mind while simultaneously convincing herself she was just being paranoid. She was not paranoid. They agreed to meet for coffee. Aria went in expecting maybe an hour of painful confirmation followed by an awkward goodbye. What actually happened was 5 hours. 5 hours of conversation. Because somewhere inside the wreckage of the same exact disaster, they found each other. And at some point during those 5 hours, for the first time in weeks, Aria laughed. And then they started comparing notes. Okay, this is where it gets insane. Because the architecture of his lies? Genuinely staggering. He had told Jade he worked late every Thursday. That was when he was with Aria. He had told Aria he had a standing Sunday evening call with family. That was when he was with Jade. 2 separate social lives. Almost zero overlap. Carefully maintained for 2 years. Aria later described it as impressive in the most disgusting way imaginable. And honestly, that's the only correct description. And you'd think that the coffee meetup, the compare notes session, the mutual processing of this insane shared trauma, you'd think that would be enough. Right? They confirm the nightmare. They go their separate ways. They heal on their own timelines. Right? No. Because at some point, Jade said something that changed the direction of everything. She said she didn't just want to walk away and let him do this to someone else in 6 months. So they made a plan. His birthday was coming up. And with an audacity that almost demands a standing ovation for its sheer scale. He had made separate plans with both women for the same week. Dinner with Arya on Friday. A trip with Jade on Saturday. They used this against him. Arya confirmed the Friday reservation. Same as planned. Nothing unusual. He had no idea. Then Jade reached out to him separately and mentioned, casually, that her schedule had just opened up, that she happened to be in the area, that she could maybe swing by Friday dinner if there was room. Framed it like a coincidence. A happy little accident. He said yes to both. Wait, it gets worse. Arya arrived at the restaurant first. She sat down at that table. And she waited. The door opened. He walked in, with Jade right beside him. And she watched, in real time, as the color completely drained from his face. I need you to really sit with that image for a second. He walks into what he thinks is a birthday dinner with one girlfriend. And there's the other one, already seated, looking right at him. He tried to recover. Standing in the middle of a restaurant, in public, he actually attempted to construct an explanation on the spot. Something about a miscommunication. Something about how he had told both of them about each other. Something about how they must have both misunderstood the nature of the arrangement. Jade started laughing. Not a cute laugh. Not a light-hearted laugh. The kind of laugh that means a person has fully, completely comprehended just how unhinged the situation is. The laugh of someone who cannot believe this is the explanation they're receiving right now. And then Arya, calm as anything, slid a printed stack of screenshots across the table. Printed screenshots. She came prepared. The screenshots made his improvised explanation physically impossible to sustain. Every single thing he had just said, contradicted, right there on paper, in his own words. And then she told him, still completely calm, that she had already contacted their landlord about the shared lease, that his belongings had been packed and left near the door, that someone would be at the apartment until 9 that evening if he wanted to collect his things. Without incident. Then both women stood up and left together. They got food from a street vendor around the corner. They sat on a park bench and ate it. And they talked, not about him, not really, but about what they actually wanted their lives to look like going forward. I genuinely cannot decide if that's the most unbothered thing I've ever heard or the most powerful. Maybe both. Maybe that's the same thing. Now, Arya has been honest about where she actually is right now. And I respect her for this. She's not fully okay. She misses the relationship she thought she had. And she's clear that that's different from missing him specifically. She's in therapy. She's rebuilding. Slowly. The way you actually have to rebuild after something like this. But she also walked away from that dinner with something she never expected to walk away with. A real friendship. Forged in the middle of a mutual catastrophe. With someone who understood exactly what she had survived. Because she had survived the exact same thing. And the karma? Oh, the karma was clean. No screaming. No public explosion. No messy blow-up he could reframe as 2 crazy exes. Just 2 women. Completely composed. Leaving him standing alone in a restaurant with a stack of his own lies sitting on the table in front of him. That's not messy. That's art. So here's what I need to know from you. Do you think they handled this perfectly? Or was there a better way to confront him? Drop your verdict in the comments right now because I genuinely want to see where people land on this one. And next up, a story that made our entire team speechless. We were all just sitting there staring at each other. You do not want to miss it. Subscribe so you never miss a single drop of drama. Stories shared on this channel are inspired by real experiences posted online. All details have been anonymized and rewritten. Any resemblance to specific individuals is coincidental.